Hey guys, it's Giovanni. In this video series, I'm going to be taking you through the whole authentic attraction cycle. Basically, I'm going to teach you how to become good at dating. The style advice that I'm about to give you, you can't find anywhere else. And here's why. When I was researching this stuff, it took me about 2 or 3 years to really get it. The stuff I was seeing online, on YouTube videos, in GQ, style magazines, everywhere I looked, all I could find was, wear this hat, wear this color, here are your measurements, buy these shoes, okay? There was so much information about style that was steeped around useless information, very, very detailed information, but no one really talked about the main reason why style is used to improve your attractiveness in dating. And so I spent about 3 years really figuring out what are the core principles of style that trigger that visual attraction. My obsession with this started when I saw these girls that will walk into a room and you can see every guy and girl do a double take like this. Like, who is that person? And yes, sometimes they were physically beautiful, but sometimes they just looked beautiful. Coco Chanel once said, there are no ugly women, only lazy ones. And so this obsession started with me trying to find out, is there a male version of that? Can a guy walk into a room and just command that confidence, that fierceness? One of my mentors isn't a good-looking guy, but whenever he walked in, you can literally feel the energy field shift and people would be kind of drawn like, what is this person? So I wanted to recreate that draw, that magnetism that's almost unexplainable, no matter how a guy looked. Now, those of you who know me, you've seen my pictures from before. And guess what? During these 3 years, my physical looks actually haven't changed. What I did do, however, was change my style by using these underlying triggers, okay? Today, I'm gonna teach you what those triggers are. When you do this correctly, you will save 90% of the work that a normal guy has to do, okay? A normal guy has to try really hard, put in a bunch of effort, convince the woman to like them. But when you have this down, you'll be able to create attraction, and that smoothness carries through the whole cycle, the whole interaction. So it saves you really 9x of the work that you have to do. Those of you that are saying that I'm tall and that I'm naturally good looking, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I wasn't always like this. And third of all, I've helped clients who are overweight, clients who are short, clients who lack self-esteem, go through the same cycle. You have to remember that your look is more important than your looks when it comes to dating, especially with women. Because their attraction circuits are different than ours, their attraction circuit on average is about 50% behavior, 50% visual. And when you mix style into that equation, the visual and the behavioral start to mix and you start seeing some pretty interesting reactions. Have you ever seen a guy who didn't quite look like the male model, but he would walk into a social event or walk into a club, and because of the way he carries himself, the whole room becomes his best friend? He's using one of those 8 style attraction triggers. Now, style to me is more than just how you look or the clothes you wear. It's about how you walk through life, how you move through life. If I had to define it, style is the outer representation of your inner soul. And when you can learn how to process that energy and distill it outward, it is one of the most powerful triggers in dating. Without this piece, right, every other piece and the rest of the cycle just becomes exponentially harder. A very common objection I get is, well, you're tall, or I'm this and that, or etc., right? And yes, let me acknowledge you, first of all. I understand that way of thinking. I used to think that way. Think of it as like a formulation. Your style, your verbal game, your energy field, the way you carry yourself, your nonverbals, all of those add up, okay? It's not additional, it's exponential. So let's say your style, your behavior patterns, and your communication. Let's say it's 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9, right? So your score is 9 out of 10 in the dating game. In reality, when you have these down at a very high level, okay, it's actually exponential. So it's 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27, which is 3 times more powerful than 9. So think of these as multipliers, if you will. And this is the first multiplier that's going to exponentially drastically improve your game. Instead of worrying about the details like how do I customize my shirt, what color should I pick, first focus on the fundamental principles. And in dating, there are 3 style triggers that you have to get down before anything else happens. 1 is dominance, 2 is eliteness, and 3 is openness. Most guys lack dominance in their look. A really easy way to add dominance is just to get really dark jeans, dark blue or black jeans, a V-neck shirt, and a leather jacket. Dominance is an expression of edginess. an expression of, if there is a fight, I can handle it. I am the leader of men. There are a lot of verbal ways to express this. Visually, however, there are certain what we call sexual archetypes. The leather jacket is one of them. Dark jeans is one of them. Depending on your cultural zip code, right? Piercings could be one of them. Tattoos could be one of them. It's basically displaying yourself as a guy who is sexual and who is not afraid to show his strength. Eliteness, on the other hand, conveys that you understand the social hierarchy, that you have social intuition, social smarts. Certain style looks, right? Lookbooks, we call them, a collection of looks, display this type of social intelligence. Even if you're not socially high on the hierarchy, if you have eliteness down, you can convey that you understand that there's a social hierarchy and that you have mobility within it. And so this conveys a lot of social value. When you have dominance, which is a sexual raw energy, and eliteness, which is the survival value of the hierarchy, these two triggers, right, attraction and comfort, really make women visually attracted to you the moment she sees you. One of the drawbacks when you have too much of both of these, I noticed once I started testing this, is that people find you less approachable, right? Imagine a guy with the piercings and the tattoos, really buff at the club. You don't know necessarily how to start a conversation with that guy. If someone's really elite, they've got the suit and the tie, they got their sunglasses on, they're driving a nice car, how do I approach this guy? Like if a woman wanted to talk to you, it's very difficult to do. So one thing I learned was, how can you display dominance and eliteness, but still be open? So sometimes I have a really cool design on the shirt, or I would have an interesting accessory. One piece that where it's easy for her to comment on it if she wanted to. Now there are 5 more style attraction triggers that I don't want to get into because these 3 are the first ones you have to get down. Otherwise the rest of them don't work. In my course, Seduce with Style, I go through over 100 structured, practical lessons on how to improve your look, how to understand these 8 style attraction triggers, and how to instantly transform your look. No matter how you look now, short, tall, balding, fat, skinny, like I was, I teach you through the process of understanding a look, picking a lookbook, putting together a look, and then becoming congruent through your behavior patterns with your new look. This course has helped hundreds of guys already. If you want to check it out, go to this URL or click on the link in the description. Once you understand these principles, right, then all of these other variables become super easy. So it's like, oh, I understand dominance, eliteness, and openness. When I see these certain looks on websites, I can immediately pinpoint what I need to do to pick out those clothing items and put together an outfit. A really good site that I use is lookbook.nu. Pinterest is great. Sometimes I even go to Google Images. And what I train my mind to do is I'll look at a picture of an outfit and I'll train my mind to break down the little pieces of each outfit and how to replicate it. How do you know when you have a look that works? Here are some of the reactions that you'll start getting. Girls will start standing really close to you with their back towards you. We call this proximity at social events. Women will glance at you, do this double take like. Sometimes some of the girls will be more forthcoming. They'll actually literally go up to you and say, hey, have you seen the bathroom? Or they'll just come and say hello. One thing that my clients and I realized was that when you have that look down, that first look, you'll start getting a lot of compliments from just random people. People at work, people at the grocery store. That's a nice scarf, I like your scarf. That's a nice jacket. And you start hearing it over and over again. It's not like a one-time thing, it's consistent, okay? Every month you'll hear it probably 4 or 5 times at least, depending on how much you go out. This is when you know like, oh, I've hit on something. I have something that actually works. Once you have that, then in the course Seduce with Style, I teach you how to take photos, how to hire a photographer, how to do it yourself if you want to, and create photographs that are not model worthy per se, but get results in online dating. Where within a second, when a woman sees it, she's like, I'm gonna swipe right. You want that emotional response right away when she sees you, the moment she sees you and how you look and how you present yourself, okay? This is the power of style attraction. I cannot emphasize this step enough because without this step, everything else requires more work. If you found this video useful, check out the Seduce with Style course, highly recommended. Now, in the next video, video number 2, I'm going to go over your nonverbal communication and how important this is. So we're going to move on to the next step. And I will teach you the power of your nonverbals. See you in the next one.